Well, good Wednesday morning inspiration for today, family. It's a great day to study the Word of God together, is it not? It really is. And we're getting to know King David these last few days, and there's an example he sets for us today that is, I think it's challenging, but encouraging, that an area that we can definitely improve upon. But first, I just wanted to mention again, every day this week, we're going to use a different sunset because this is the last week of season 5. It's kind of the sunset of this season. And so a brand new season begins next Monday. And season 6, I'm going to tell you a little bit more, some statistics later this week. But next week, a great week. Let me just say that. We've been working on planning it, and I know you're going to enjoy next week. Today, though, let me tell you, we've been studying and we just read about how the great friendship between Jonathan and David, and that was an inspiration, really, of what a good friend should be like. Now, today, we come to that part of David's story that he's finally made king. Samuel had anointed him as Israel's future king, but in 2 Samuel chapter 5, it finally happens. And there's so many battles and fights and so on in between. But here's the key, one of the key moments. In chapter 5, verse 3, 2 Samuel, when all the elders of Israel had come to King David at Hebron, the king made a compact with them at Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel. Here's some interesting things about him becoming king. Next verse, David was 30 years old. All this had happened before he was 30. Wow. But he was 30 years old when he became king, and he reigned for 40 years. In Hebron, he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months. And in Jerusalem, he reigned over Israel and Judah 33 years. So he's 30 years old. He reigned for 40 years. So evidently he was 70 when he died. Now, going over to chapter 6 of 2 Samuel, you see, yes, he was now king, but David was not satisfied at all until he could move the Ark of the Covenant, or the Ark of God, to Jerusalem. And so he sets out to do that. Chapter 6 at verse 1, he says, David again brought together out of Israel chosen men, 30,000 in all. He and his men set out from Bela to bring up from there the Ark of God, which is called by the name of the Lord Almighty, who is enthroned between the cherubim. He took 30,000 men to go get the Ark and move it to Jerusalem. Just thinking of that throng says how important it was to David. And so as they get it toward Jerusalem, it said David and the whole house of Israel were celebrating with all their might before the Lord, with songs and with harps and lyres and tambourines, sistrums and cymbals. I think the key phrase there, though, is with all their might before the Lord. This is a great, great time of worship. And then later on, as they go, they keep moving it on. And when you come to verse 13 of the same chapter, it's one of the, it's kind of, I was going to say quoted often, but I think it's more paraphrased often. And it's done so well. Let me read it, and then we'll step back a little bit and take a look at what was happening. But that when those were and they're going up to the city of David, which was called Jerusalem, it says they were rejoicing. They were rejoicing. And when those who were carrying the ark of the Lord had every 6 steps, they sacrificed a bull and a fattened calf. Verse 14, David, wearing a linen ephod, danced before the Lord, again with that phrase, with all his might, while he and the entire house of Israel brought up the ark of the Lord with shouts and with the sounds of trumpets. And it even goes on. It says, basically, as they were entering the city of David, Michal, daughter of Saul, watched from a window, and she saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord. She actually despised him for it. But the part we're looking at is that he was leaping and dancing. Can you picture all this celebration in your mind? What an outside worship service, really. It's all being done for the Lord. And they're so excited. Man, nothing is holding them back. When I picture this, it's just a joy-filled thing. And I've heard, the reason I said that this has been paraphrased before many times is because churches will have a worship time and they want to copy this, and sometimes there's dancing in church. They danced as David danced. I've heard that quite a few times. And it's legitimate, by the way. Body movement and so on, dancing as unto the Lord and enjoying him. We've had dancing to the Lord at Saddleback. What a joyous time. Remember, we started this whole study because we saw that David was a man after God's own heart. That was his heart. God, how can I serve you? And how can I show other people to you? We want that said of us. And one of the ways that it expresses itself and pleases God is joyful, heartfelt, enthusiastic worship. Worship. And I know that that is often not true of myself. At times I'm guilty of singing a song and the song ends and I hardly know what I sang. Yes, I was singing each of those words, but was I thinking about those words? Did I even actively participate in the singing? Did I take notes during the sermon to make sure I catch everything that God would have me to glean from his word? Did I truly pray when the pastor prayed? Was it my heart or his that I was following? You see, all these are challenging questions because David set a great example of worshiping with all his heart, with enthusiasm. And I want to do that. Do you want to do that too? I take today as a real encouragement to take an active part, not just one who sits there and, oh, what emails am I getting or what texts? No. Let's you and I be actively involved in our worship, just like David, and give it all we got. I guarantee you that your worship leader at whatever church has prayed over and thought about and put together the correct order of the songs. Every part of it doesn't just happen by accident. So let's put that into practice this Sunday. Oh, it'll be great. It'll be great. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow. We're almost done with our study of David. Don't miss any now.
And I won't worry about tomorrow. I'm trusting what you say.